Hello, dear listeners and YouTube viewers. Hi, for all people that are learning more information about data. Uh, just to remind you that we have just started our brand new podcast that is called Coding Invaders Podcast, in which we share with you beautiful stories of successful people who have decided to connect their life with data. This podcast is perfect for people who would like to enter the data analytics or data science world and are afraid of making a first step. That's why we invited bright minds that have a tremendous career in data science from India and asked them questions about their work, life, and attitude. My name is Raman Kumar Vyas. I'm a chief marketing officer at Coding Invaders, an online educational platform that teaches people data analysis and data science from scratch. If you are looking for career change and want to get a profession in data analytics, we're glad to announce the launch of data analytics specialization, which starts really soon. Within 6 months, you will learn all the skills and tools required to enter the data analytics field. And for podcast listeners, we have a special offer. You can get a 10% discount with the code word Coding Podcast. Please leave your reviews on the platforms where you are listening to our podcast. It can be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. This will help us to get higher ranking and more people will be able to listen to our interviews. We do this for you and we want to bring you maximum benefit. If you have questions about data, IT, career to our guests, please send us your questions in audio format and we will ask the most interesting of them on our podcast. Send your questions to info at the rate of codinginvaders.com. And now let me introduce to you Mr. Sumit Shukla, who is the very experienced guy in data science, who has 4,000 hours of student instructions in data science and machine learning. Sumit also has his YouTube channel, so please subscribe to it and see the beautiful videos that he has recorded, especially for those who would like to learn more about data science and data analytics. And Sumit also is a Kaggle enthusiast. Yes, and Sumit, please introduce yourself. We are so happy to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks, Raman. Thanks for inviting me to your beautiful podcast. And hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Those who are listening to me and watching us over the YouTube channel. So my name is Sumit Shukla, and I am basically a subject expert for machine learning and data science. And it's been a quite a good time. I've been teaching machine learning, and I've been working with various clients and various companies. So keep listening to us. You will be getting a lot to know about my journey and how I actually made my career in data science, and then you guys will also be getting motivated to start your journey in data science.
Yes, I have no doubt you will motivate by your story. So cool. Thank you very much. The first question that we usually ask our guests is why and at what point did you decide to start teaching data science and machine learning? What inspired you?
So that's something which I was related to from my very childhood. So when I was in my eighth standard in India, uh, I I used to teach. I used to take classes for some local students, and that is something which I do to support my family because we were not so much good in financial background, and there was a requirement of everyone in the family to do something to get us in a better situation. So that is what I used to do. I used to take classes for some local students in my area, and that is where I found myself as a good teacher. So when I was in my college, I was also teaching my friends, and that was also a pretty much good experience that I gained from there. So when I started working in a corporate world, like there was an education company that came to me, and they were looking for someone to take one class. I took one class, and that became the hit. So the first class was very much good. People, my listeners, they enjoyed the class, and then from there I started getting classes. Then I started visiting colleges, and then like it was like it was it was not expected that I would be able to make so much in this particular field. So like for last 2 years, more than 2 years, I'm a complete teacher now, and I'm really enjoying it, because when you see people thanking you over LinkedIn and thanking you over WhatsApp, and they are calling you for after they are successfully able to get a job with my help, then that makes your day. And that's a different feeling. Like you can't get it while working in an industry. You can't get it while working for a corporate world. You can only get it when you are actually in a field where you help students, where you help them to achieve their goal. So looking at this thing, I transformed myself into a complete teacher, and now I'm pretty much enjoying it, and I love what I do.
That's great. I actually fully agree with you about this feeling. I'm a teacher by myself. I teach my students with digital marketing. And actually, this feeling that you receive while you're teaching people and when you receive their feedback, I think this kind of feeling, you cannot buy it. You cannot get it anywhere. Yes, that's
Yes,
great.
very true. You're very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's amazing. We like to teach because knowledge means nothing if you don't share them.
The more you share, the more you get. Like when I started teaching, I was not pretty much clear with all the concepts and all the machine learning problems, but as you get questions, so that's a very difficult, very difficult thing when when a group of 100 people are listening to you, and they are asking you each and every doubt. Like you can have some students, those who are pretty much intelligent, they will ask you intelligent questions. There will be a set of students, those who are not so much great in maybe mathematics or technology, so you will get a more general question. So when you get a wide range of questions from them, you need to always think that how to answer that question in the best possible way. So the more you take, the more you teach, the more better you are making yourself in that subject knowledge. And that is something which is beneficial for both the student and the teacher. You are always improving your knowledge. You're always looking for good material, and always looking for good content, so that you can deliver the best content and the best information to those who are listening to you, right?
Yes, exactly. I gotcha. When you teach, you study. Do you have any student accomplishments that you are most proud of?
So I would say my best accomplishment, I would say, is so when I came into my senses, I would say, when I actually realized that my family is not in a good position. I was pretty much thinking about it, like how to make our family in a better position. And from there itself, I have seen a lot of bad problems and bad stages in my life. And from that point now, we are in a very good position because of the hard work that we did. We all did our part, and this is the best accomplishment, I would say, that through my education, through something which I did in my struggle, I was able to make our family in a better position. So now, like, I'm 25 right now. I own a flat. I own a flat in a very expensive area. So that's the best accomplishment, I would say, I have gained, and that's all through my hard work that I did. So education is something that has given me everything, and that is what I'm returning to then to all the students, those who are connected to me.
Amazing, amazing. If you would like to get a flat when you're 25, do not use mortgage. Just become a data scientist. We explored your LinkedIn profile, and what was interesting that you have experience in sports science and tech. But could you please tell us more about the connection between sports
Yes,
science
yes.
and tech?
So this all started when I was in my last year of the college. It all started in year 2003. So this company came to my college for recruitment, and I was able to get an internship in that. At that moment, I was not pretty much comfortable. Like I was not pretty much sure what we are going to do in this company, but since I got an internship, I thought of taking up that role. So my role was with the data as a data analyst, and it was with the Indian hockey team. So I worked with the lead performance analyst of Indian hockey team. His name is Mr. Aditya Chakravarti, and there I got to understand about the usage of data science and how this the game science works. Like if we talk about so what we see right now when we watch a match, we see we enjoy it, but at a back end, as of now, everything is more technical right now. Like there is a plan that is going on and on the back end, and coaches are using data science to decode the strategies. So there is a on play strategy, there is a off play strategy, there is what is known as performance analysis. So on
Mhm.
each player we do performance analysis so that the coach can make a better decision, and that is what I used to help. We used to create reports on each and every player, so that the coach can go through it and can understand which player is needed to be included and which player is needed to be excluded. This is what I did, and that is where I thought of learning more in this field. So then I took one course from Barcelona, FC Barcelona, and that was in sports science. So there I learned about how we can use various technologies in sports science and how we can basically use the power of data science to decode the game theory.
Is there a possibility to do a freelance job in terms of data scientists and in terms of data analysts? Because there are so many freelance designers, web developers, marketing managers, but data scientists on a freelance. What does it look like?
So data science freelancing is something which is now taking a good pace. It all started, I would say, it all started in last 1 or 1.5 year, when you start getting some projects on freelancing.com or maybe other websites. So I have taken some of the projects, and the requirement is not so much great as of now, because people are not looking to so this is something which is related to data, and data is very much private, right? As of now,
Mhm.
data is very, it's a new oil, as all of us know. So since it is related to data, people are not so much in they are not actively posting requirement, or maybe they are not actively posting their requirements over freelancing. And the reason is because of the data. They don't wanted to share their confidential data with any freelancers. So the requirement is not so much great, but it is booming. It is taking a pace. If you are a data scientist, you may get some so you may start getting some projects. I have, like, there are my students, those who are getting like at least 1 or 2 projects per month. And more than earning money, they are using it as for their development. So if you are targeting as a complete freelancer, then that would not be a good field or great field. But if you are targeting freelancing as something for learning, then you will get, and you can use that learning to again shift, or you can use that learning to get a full-time job. So that is something which I always suggest to my students, that uh, take up some actual projects, that will give you a more weightage in your interviews.
Okay, yes, very good advice. Thank you very much. How to become a successful person in data science? Please advise our listeners what they need to do to succeed in data science field.
See, data science is not all about maths. It's not all about, and it's not limited to maths. It is more about how you are able to solve a problem. Now, if I give you an example, not every time when you work in your company, not every time you need to use modeling techniques. You will not be using machine learning to solve a problem. Most of the time, you will be using your logical thinking. So you need to be, first of all, good at thinking. You need to think. You need to think how you can approach a problem. So that's very much important. Now, in the what you see in assignments and what you see in projects that are given as a part of online courses, that is something which is that is something which is very much structured. But in reality, when you actually face a problem in your company, that's very much unstructured. You really don't know how to start, you really don't know what data you need, and you really don't know whether you are able to, whether you will be able to solve it or not. So there are quite good uncertainties when you actually get a problem, and that is where you need to think about, you need to start thinking, so how to approach that problem, whether you need to get certain amount of data. So sometimes you need to ask your data engineering team to send you to capture certain amount of data, and then then you use that data to create your solution. If I give you an example, the actual example which I have faced. So in my company, we used to receive tickets from customers, the issue tickets, and on a one particular day, we got a significant increase in the number of tickets. Now the management team, they were asking the data science team to get the solution for this. Now at that particular point, you can't sit and start creating a model. You need a quick dirty solution, because you need to show something to your management team. So at that particular point, you would be using the data that is available to you. You will be using some normal exploratory techniques, not specifically machine learning, to solve this problem. And that is how we solved it. We just did some exploratory data analysis, and we tried to get the answer why this is happening. So in short, if I summarize my answer, I would say that first of all, start thinking logically. You need to be a good problem solver. You need to be a logical thinker if you want it to be if you want a good success in data science. Second, never stop learning. Data science is a very new field as of now. It is always increasing. It is new developments are made every day. You will read about new technology that is coming out. So you need to be keeping yourself updated each and every day. You need to think about, you need to read various blogs, you need to read various new developments, so that you are not left behind. And that these two things will actually make you a very successful data scientist.
So you need to be a lifelong student.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What high-tech companies inspire you? I mean, companies that are currently using data science to solve this problem, to solve their problems.
So as of now, I would say that all these OTT companies, the the companies that are making web series, they are using video platforms for engaging customers. That is the best market, I would say, as of now. Because the post COVID situation, or maybe the during COVID situation, uh, we engaged so much with the video online platforms, that now these companies have created a good customer base. So now entertainment is something which is on your mobile, and these OTT companies, they are leveraging the power of data science to engage more customers and more making their platform more user friendly. So I would not name a particular company, but all these OTT companies like Netflix, Z5, for if you could talk about Indian companies, MX Player, maybe Balaji. So these are the companies, I would say that these are the companies as of now, they are using a good data science, because they are solving a problem that is something very new. Industry, if we look at the traditional way of approaching a problem for data science, uh, we would say credit card industry was the very first industry that used data science. Telecom industry is a very old industry that is using data science. Your e-commerce industry, they are using data science for a very long time. Now these are the problems that has been resolved, and that like you will get a variety of solutions for these particular areas. But if you look at this media industry, the entertainment industry, they are using data science for a very first time. So the type of solutions that they are creating is very fascinating, and that is where the actual problem is. So wherever there is a new problem, you will get a new learning, and wherever there is a new learning, you should always be looking at that company. So if you are currently a new data scientist, I would probably suggest all of them to look for a OTT company to join, because over there you will get a very unstructured problem which is not having a direct solution. So you need to think a lot to get a proper solution, and when you think a lot, you learn a lot.
And as I know, the big companies usually make contests and make competitions on the website that is called Kaggle. And we have mentioned this website and this community on our previous podcast. But as I know from your LinkedIn profile, you hacked problems on Kaggle using deep learning, neural networks, and computer vision. So, would you be so kind to explain to our students who do not know anything about Kaggle a few words about
So
what is it?
yes, so if I give you a funny answer, you can say Kaggle is a Tinder for data scientists. Uh, if you are
Yeah,
a data scientist, you need to have a Kaggle account, and Kaggle is a very good platform where you get variety of problems, and where you have opportunity to solve a particular problem for a actual company, and you can actually get a good amount, like you can get actually a cash to solve their problem. So companies are creating competitions where you can engage yourself and you can participate. And if your solution really makes sense to them, then you have opportunity to get some amount, to get some cash prize. So that is what Kaggle is. But more generally, Kaggle is a good website to learn data science. You get a variety of data sets across various industries, so you can utilize those data set, and then you can look at the solutions that are created by other participants. So by looking at solutions, you can also learn, you can also implement those solutions. So that's a good way to learn by yourself. Now, how I started Kaggle, it started I started as so I started it because I was looking for some data set to play, and that is where I found Kaggle. So I started solving some problems. Titanic one is a very basic and a very, I would say, it's a the first problem which every data scientist used to solve over Kaggle. So that is
Titanic.
Titanic, yes.
Wow.
So the problem is actually to identify which person survived and which person didn't survive
Ah,
using
yes.
machine learning technique. So that's a very old problem, around I would say 7 or 8 years old problem that is available in Kaggle and is still active. So you can participate and you can submit your solution. So that is how I started, and then I mentored a lot of students. So there is an education company with which I work, and they organize Kaggle they organize Kaggle competitions. So in those Kaggle competitions, each batch or each group of student is accompanied by a mentor. So I have mentored a lot of groups, and that is how I have gained a lot of experience on Kaggle also. So if you look my Kaggle profile, you will not find me so much good, because I've never directly solved a problem, but I have helped so many students to solve a problem. So I was involved with them for a month or two to actually solve a complete problem and get them a good solution. So that is how I am working with Kaggle, and how I am interacting with Kaggle.
Cool. That's because you are a teacher by your attitude.
Correct, correct.
Okay. Now you have mentioned that Kaggle is a Tinder for data scientists, but the data scientist actually has been named, I don't remember, in Forbes or in Entrepreneur. Uh, Data scientist has been named the sexiest profession of 2021. Is that true? Does it really help people to get a girlfriend or
So
a boyfriend?
I would first answer a serious. I would first try to answer this question on a very serious note.
Uh-huh.
Uh, when somebody is calling data scientist as a sexiest job, there is a reason to it, and there is a very logical reason to it. Now, why they are calling you as a sexiest person in the company? Because you your solution is the solutions that you are creating is actually read by the most top person in your company. So you are directly interacting with the management team, you are creating solutions for them, and they are listening to you because you have some concrete data to 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 showcase what they are doing wrong. So you have the ability to question them, you have the ability to answer them, and you have the ability to sit with them directly talking to the topmost management. That is why I would say in a particular company, you are in the 60th position. So I have actually experienced it. uh, Whenever I like in various companies, I was the part of data science team, and I basically led a team also. And when I was a leader in my team, there was multiple meetings that we did with the CEO, with your management. And that is where the management is directly looking at your answers, looking at your opinion. So at that point your opinion matters them. So if the topmost person of your company is looking for your opinion, then you are the success person.
Okay, it sounds like I got it. Okay, okay. So no joke, it's very serious.
Yes, yes. It's actually a 6 years job. You have the power of data to you have something which not everyone know. Like in your company, you will find HR, you will find marketing team, you will find IT, you will find other teams. But data science is something which is actually creates a lot of uh, it is something which is out of the box, because of the current introduction of this field in the market. So it's very
Mhm.
new. and and the second answer I've already given to you, that you are working with the topmost management. That's why it's sexiest.
Yeah, that's why you solve. No, you work with the management team because you solve a strategic problem of the business and find a strategic way of developing the business based
Correct.
on data. Cool. Okay. We have one question about. There has been a lot of talk recently in the media about the need to limit the development of artificial intelligence, of machine learning, because computer will become smarter than people, because the evil AI will appear and then enslave humanity. In your opinion, how realistic is this, and what level of development will artificial intelligence and machine learning reach?
So this is I would say this is something which is still unanswered. We are not still very much sure that what is going to happen, whether we are going to get a machine, or maybe a robot, or maybe a program that is more logical and more confident than us. So that is something which is still unanswered. But I would say we need to control, we need to have some limitations. The reason is because artificial intelligence is complex, and it is so much complex that you can't understand it once it starts creating logic. So there are two things. One is where you can actually interpret the logic, when you can actually decode the logic, and that is a simple machine learning. But when you enter into deep learning and artificial intelligence, the logic is actually complex, and you can't the actually a human cannot understand or decode that logic. And once a machine starts creating its own logic, and the logic which a human cannot understand, then anything can happen. So that is why we need to think about some limitations on this. But still, like, there are developments going on. We still don't have a perfect solution or maybe a perfect answer for this question. But anything that we do, we should be limiting ourselves, because if we don't limit, anything can happen.
Okay, I have a good friend of mine who is actually a data scientist in Russia, and his theory is that the main goal of humanity is to create the AI, because the human body was not developed, to travel far away in the universe, because like we become an old man and then die. And even if you like make some biohacking or eat some pills or control your health, then the maximum amount of your maximum age is not more than 150 years. But the robot with AI can travel through the universe. He can repair himself. He can be charged by a solar panel. So that's his theory here. He is fully confident that the main goal of humanity is to develop like the perfect AI who will explore the universe after the humanity is going to die.
So it is it see, as I have told you, we still don't have a perfect answer or a perfect mindset about what is going to happen. And it is quite possible also that we will be able to create something like that. And again, something which is in development, I would say, and something which is still very much possible, because AI is something that is we haven't explored 100%.
Don't you think the system itself is a bit outdated? I mean, studying for 6 years or more for the sake of coming out a specialist that are currently unprepared for the job, should it be changed? Because there are so many e-tech projects that really entered on the market. And Buju, as I know, they have bought university not long ago for $1 billion.
Hmm.
So really, the market is changing, and the system study of itself, traditional education, also should change. What do you
Yes,
think should be
correct.
changed? Yeah.
So it is required, like we need a good change in our education system. As of now we have. And see, I would not say every person who is studying engineering or maybe a science or maybe commerce, they all need coding. So we should not generalize it. Rather we should target on making it more general, like more open, so that the person who is interested in anything else, they can try out that. The reason we are not getting smart people out of colleges, or maybe successful people out of colleges, the reason is because uh, we have focused more on getting a job and getting a 9 to 5 job rather than making ourselves happy. So that is one thing, and that is because of the family pressure, the social pressure, and your peer pressure. So these are the things that is making students not to not to I would say not to check out them, what they have unique in themselves. So they need to explore themselves first of all. And the way they can do it is once our education system is more open. So I think our Indian government is doing something on that path, where we will be having some open system. Like in my college, there was a opportunity to take one subject from any department, or from any non-technical
Mm-hmm.
department. Like I took a course on food, where I was actually so I love cooking. And
Mm-hmm.
that is one subject that I did. I for one semester I was cooking.
Wow.
So I did that also. And that is something which every college should do. Like even if it is not the part of your curriculum, you still have like about 90 minutes of your time where you can do something which is not the part of your actual course, but something where you can actually explore yourself. So steps are taken, but we still need a good change. I have seen this in my data community, that people are less helpful. So that is one thing we that everyone should start doing. Be helpful and help the freshers actually, because they are the one who are looking for your help. Because I was in a position when I was looking for my first job, I was in a very helpless position. I was reaching out to each and every person over LinkedIn. I did it good mistakes also. like I at that moment I was not aware about how to reach out to a person, how to talk to a data science professional, or maybe how to talk to a CEO. So those things I learned by myself, but if somebody would have helped me, I would have not wasted so much time. So a mentor is something which is required as of now in this industry, and every person can be a mentor. The only thing that a person need to develop is a quality of helping others. So if we can start developing, even if we can start helping at least a one person in 1 month, we will be able to help 12 persons in a year, and those 12 person will be highly thankful to you. So that is something which I am looking out of this industry.
The sharing of the knowledge, the uncontinuous sharing of the knowledge. Yep.
Correct, correct.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sumit. Thank you very much for your inspiration, and thank you very much for your answers. You are an ambassador and an enthusiast of data science, of teaching, of happiness, and of cooking.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Thank you very much. We wish you all the best. Less stress, more happiness.